Okay, so today we're going to change directions a little bit because I came to the realization, I was thinking about a lot of things. I think I've been doing you guys a little bit of a disservice with how we're going about doing these lectures. There's absolutely topics you guys want to learn about. You guys want the education. But I kind of felt like I wasn't giving you guys enough directives. And we kind of have a small, I want to call it a focus group, but a small intimate group of people here. So I think we can get a little more intentional about not just educating you guys, but giving you guys behaviors to actually elicit change. Because that's why you guys are here. Like, you're not here to take a test on nutrition at the end of this. You're here because you want your life to be better from the information you have here. So if we're not eliciting behavior change, and we're just overwhelming you guys with facts and figures about fiber and protein, like, education is knowledge is power, but if it's not backed by behavior, we're wasting our time. So that's why I'm kind of starting this new series here. This is what I'm talking about, thinking about change, the elephant, the rider, and the path today. So I want to start with a quote, and I'm sure you guys have heard this quote before. It's by Mark Twain. It says, 20 years from now, you'll be disappointed by the things you did not do, you didn't do than by the ones you did. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. I open with this because you guys all want change. You guys have a myriad of different goals, but I think now it's time. And so what I'm going to do is kind of look at how do we elicit change in these kind of programs. So very basically, all change starts with desire, right? You have some kind of desire, I want to be there. So, you assign a value to the desired outcome, you maybe do a cost-benefit analysis, you visualize, you future project what that desire will look like, that awesome future that you always wanted. And then you plan, you kind of come up with a how-to, you gather your resources, you lay out the action steps, and finally take action. As we know, things don't work out like this. It's not that cut and dry. You want to be somewhere, it's not as simple as 3 steps. It's really not. I've never seen, in my life, I've never been able to take a desire and go straight to here. It's really, this picture is very deceiving, but this is what you'll see in a lot of personal change. Why is that? Because on the surface, this is what you look like when you're contemplating your desired future. It's pretty, it's nice, and it seems pretty peaceful, and this guy wants to go somewhere, and he's got a plan. But realistically, deep below, there is a myriad of mechanisms going on in your brain that are just so complicated that make this process honestly look silly. User account. Let's see what we got on here. So, we're complicated. We're not as simple as just a finger. And I'm going to talk about the complication of that. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of cognitive neuroscience to help understand why you're doing the things you're doing, why you maybe have failed in the past, and what we can do about that to create change in the future. First off, your rational brain. This is going to be this area around here called your prefrontal cortex. It's actually the newest part of the brain that we've developed evolutionarily. It controls executive functioning, meaning you want to do something, this is like the directive commander that's telling you, go there, do this. It has reasoning capabilities. It has capacity for language. It's serial. It processes one thing at a time. But once again, we're not that simple. We also have emotional brains. And this is a fact, that we have these subcortical limbic systems down here that respond to fear, emotion, and that drive a lot of behavior. So often, when let's say you want to, someone is pitching you something to sell you on something, and you say, I understand all these reasons for telling me, this computer is great, it's the fastest one, it's on sale, it's affordable, it just doesn't feel right. Why do we say it just doesn't feel right? Because this center down here that drives over here, this emotional brain, has no capacity for language. Feel is the best we can come up with. So my point to you is this. We have these two systems running at the same time. Health and fitness and your weight loss or body goals is all about taking that desire, creating an action plan, and executing. So if we're missing these pieces and we're not tailoring to this, we're wasting our time. So the whole picture, you have these two systems and they're running in parallel. And this is what dictates your decisions on a day-to-day basis. I want to introduce you guys to a guy named Jonathan Haidt. He's a researcher at the University of Virginia. he wrote this awesome freaking book called The Happiness Hypothesis. And I'm going to kind of summarize a lot of his findings. This is going to be the basis of a lot of what we do here from here on out. This is what he talks about, and this is the title of the talk: The Elephant, the Rider, and the Path. I should take a look at this for a second. Basically, this is you. You are this, according to Jonathan Haidt. You are the rider and the elephant. So let's break down what we talked about, the rational emotional brains. The rider is your rational brain. He's the guy who says, I want to be there. Here's the plan. He needs the knowledge. He needs the structure. This is your emotional brain, your underlying motivation, your self-image. All those things that really do guide, ultimately, where you're going to go. Now, to get to where you want to go, your path, your direction, these two guys need to be working harmoniously. This guy will get really tired trying to direct your emotional brain if he's not on board. And I will tell you this, the majority of the clients that I've worked with have problems here. It does not matter what I teach you, what kind of diet plan I give you, what kind of structure I give you. When people define themselves by so many emotional problems down here, oh, I'm a sugar addict. And what is that a reflection of? Well, it's a reflection of your deep down, your self-image. So imagine trying to go on a diet with this kind of self-conscious image that you're a sugar addict. These things aren't going to add up. So any effective plan for change needs to get both these things on board. And that's our goal. And now finally, this is the final piece, is your path. Now, we kind of talked about, you guys were talking a little about the gym. If I go home, I'm not going to go to the gym. So all effective programs for change, whether it's weight loss, or whether you want to read more, or you want to spend more time with your kids, it's effective to pave the path. And what does that mean? Removing obstacles and making your steps as easy as possible. So I'm going to talk about certain ways to pave the path in the context of this program, so we can create change. So pretty much this is the takeaway for that. To be successful here at Why We Fit, we need to learn how to mediate the elephant, the rider, and the path effectively. Here's the problem with most health and wellness problems. Boom, right here, this figure. And you guys have seen it. 75%. This is the percentage of people that fall after 1 month of their New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions, health and fitness New Year's resolutions are the #1 thing that every single person in the Western society decides they want to do. They want to lose weight. They want to get their energy back. This is the year. But this is what happens after 1 month. Why? Because we're ignoring this picture. We're ignoring this picture. So we got to understand that picture and how we approach things. Let's look at this. This is also a scary picture. This is the percentage of patients who have cancer, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease medications prescribed. Only 55% of these people take their medications. Now, whether or not you believe in medications aside, these are people that this is their life. And they're showing up half of the time. Half of the time to take care of themselves. Wow. It seems we have a massive lack of compliance. Massive lack of compliance. Why? That's why we got to look at this elephant in the rider problem. So why is this happening? So essentially, I created this Venn diagram, and it's the problem occurs here. This is the failure area, and this is where most people are sitting in their health and wellness programs. And it comes because we're either overwhelming the rider, ignoring the elephant, the motivational issues, or not shaping the path. And I'm going to get into these later in the lecture about what we can do to mediate these issues. So what's the solution? It comes from the field of change psychology. There's a lot of books that have been written about this recently. Blink, Switch, there's a lot of major books that talk about this. And it is really good news because basically, personal trainers, and let's talk about this industry for a second, when they don't deliver you results, when you didn't deliver fantastic results for 1 out of 10 of their clients, and when you don't succeed on their program, they fire you. You were unmotivated, you couldn't do it, or it wasn't right, blah, blah, blah. The whole practice, the programming there just really sucks. It's not working with our cognitive neuroscience and how we actually operate to produce massive results. So, this is what Jonathan Haidt says. We need, like I said, we need to direct the rider, motivate the elephant, shape the path. So here's our new game plan. Our new game plan here at Why We Fit is I know we've been on a lot of diets, whether it's Biggest Loser or trying to lose weight, and that is awesome. Listen, I believe that a good propelled effort to get the weight off and make change is awesome. But it's about making that change stick. If it doesn't stick, why the hell are we doing it? It's like I prepared for this bodybuilding show for 12 to 14 weeks. Okay, I looked awesome. On the day I showed up, I looked awesome. I did really well. But if I just let that go out the window, it's all for naught. It doesn't matter. Ideally, I would like all of us to continuously take steps forward, even if an inch every single day, so our fitness progress is always going upward, always linear. What's the point of this yo-yo? It just doesn't make sense to me. So this is what we're going to be doing at YB Fit from now on. Saying this is the most effective way to program to create lasting change. As we're going to address the rider, and we've been doing this. We've been doing this to a certain extent. We've incorporated educational components on nutrition, exercise, and self-control. We're absolutely going to continue to do that because that's critical. If the rider doesn't have the frameworks or the general information, he can't do his job. We've been ignoring the elephant. And this is something I obviously want to bounce off you guys, but this is extremely powerful stuff on working on, this could be on your own time, but working on your own neuroassociations, your own program. You guys heard of Tony Robbins, Anthony Robbins. Obviously, he made a fortune, a lifestyle off, his lecture series. He wrote books called Unlimited Power and stuff like that. He teaches neuro-linguistic programming. And it's essentially based on the tenets that the words and the self-talk that you have has a profound effect on your actual biology, your nervous system. And you can program yourself to do whatever you want. You can program yourself to be an optimistic person, to be a person who loves to exercise. I personally can tell you from my life, I have created such a strong association between pleasure and healthy food that it is hard for me to eat unhealthy food. I feel bad. It's hard for me to eat cake because I made such strong associations. I'm not trying to make you robots, but let's say if you can make the right kind of programming, your life becomes so much easier. You can truly become the person you want. And finally, we're going to address the path. Some kind of behavioral modification techniques that we can do to actually get to the gym, to actually pack your meals. What can we do? Because we're all about driving behavior now. So let's talk about the rider. That's where we're going to start there. So why do we fail in terms of the rider? The rider needs information, but he operates on finite self-discipline resources. So what's the issue? Doing too much too quickly. Doing too much too quickly. So I've lectured about all this stuff with you guys. You have a million things going on in your brain. What do you take action on? Do you start weeding out high glycemic index foods? Or do you start, tailoring your sugar substitutes? Or do you start picking the right protein sources? It's overwhelming, right? We have to get traction, otherwise our wheels are going to spin. Here's some awesome statistics. 85% is the success rate of adopting a new habit if you do one at a time. But you're a type A person, you can probably do two at a time, right? Here's what happens. You do two at a time. You try to tackle 2 habits at a time, it drops to 35% success rate. 3 at a time, less than 10. It should be the other way around. But less than 10. My point to you is this, and this is one of the things we're going to be doing with the rider. We've been overwhelming our riders. So, what I'm going to do, and you guys can choose whether or not you want to participate in this, but each week I'm going to give you guys one habit to work on. And you're going to track it. And it's going to be freaking easy. But we know from the research that compounding small wins over time equals massive wins. How did I get to deadlift 600 pounds? Well, I started with 50 and I added 2.5 pounds each side for 10 years. That's how you get there. So.